Okay, next we have the Shadowpriest. A dramatic revamp is happening in Warlords of Draenor for this class. Gone are the Herbs and Devouring Plague, and now we have an Insanity bar. What happens with that is it fills up through the use of different spells, activating Void Form, which allows you to do much bigger damaging abilities and drains your Insanity back down to 0, which you will then exit Void Form and then repeat the process. I've always been a fan of Shadowpriest. I truly believe it's one of the highest skill cap specs in the game. Outside of Godcomp and Shatter, which probably makes Shadowpriest significantly easier. Big names such as Talbadar in the US and Dunyaki in the EU have displayed the power of this class on Blizzard's global elite PvP stage. I'm looking forward to trying out this spec and highlight it to you guys. In the link below I will link Aberney's WoW, a great Shadowpriest with informative vids and especially doing a lot of videos in the current Legion beta, who I'm sure will continue throughout the whole of the expansion. So if you want to get anything a bit more in depth and a little bit pro about duels and anything like that, I suggest you check out his channel. But right now, let's get into the video and let's take a look at this spec going into Legion. Cheers. Okay then guys, here we are, the Shadowpriest. First, let's take a look at the specialization. Shadow. Uses sinister shadow magic, especially damage over time of spells, to eradicate enemies. You've got your Mind Blast. Now in Legion this is casted. It's no longer a instant cast like it was in Warlords of Draenor. You can talent it to get instant cast procs, and I will show you that. You've got your Mind Flay, ranged attack that deals damage and generates insanity while you channel it, same as before. Vampiric Touch, ranged attack that deals damage over time and heals you for when it deals damage, same as before. Shadow Word Pain, same as before. Here's the big one, Void Form, spell that consumes insanity, increases your damage by more the longer it is active, requires 100 insanity to activate. So this is obviously the mechanism that you'll see. Then you also have Void Bolt. Strong ranged attack on a short cooldown that generates insanity, only usable in Void Form. I'm going to apologise for those orbs that are flying around. I don't know what this is, but someone has pretty much bugged everyone, so these like flying things just fly around and just touch you. Right, let's go to the talents. So, at level 15, Twist of Fate makes its return. After damaging a target below 35% health, you deal 20% increased damage and 20% increased healing for 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the de facto talent. I can't see why you'd really choose the other two. Fortress of the Mind being Mind Flay and Mind Blast deal 10% more damage and generate 20% more insanity. That's quite good. Shadow Word Void. Blast the target's mind for 40,000 shadow damage. Don't really need to have another casted ability. I feel like this, although it generates quite a lot of insanity, it's just not as good as Twist of Fate. So I haven't used it yet. Level 30, you've got Mania. You move 1% faster for every 5 insanity you have, so obviously you can cap out at a maximum of 100 insanity, meaning you can move 20% faster whilst you have full insanity, but you're not going to be sitting on insanity very long, so it's just not a good choice. Body and Soul. Power Word Shield increases your target movement speed by 40% for 3 seconds. Obviously, Shadowpriest in the Legion has lost the feathers, and so this will be your de facto talent for trying to go quicker. And Masochism. When you cast Shadow Mend on yourself, its damage over time effect heals you instead. And so what that basically means is Shadow Mend, which is a heal, and then does damage after it's healed you. You just take away that damaging component, so it's just a full heal. Level 45, you've got Mind Bomb. Inflicts the target with a mind bomb after 2 seconds, or if the target dies, it unleashes a physical explosion, stunning all enemies within 8 yards of the target for 2 seconds. This replaces Psychic Scream, so it's just never ever going to be viable. Psychic Voice reduces the cooldown of Psychic Scream by 30 seconds. You know, you want the fear because it's so utilised. It's now currently a minute cooldown in in Legion. This allows it to become 30 seconds, and so I've taken Psychic Voice. And Dominate Mind, again, you may also control your own character while Mind Control is active, but Mind Control now lasts 1 min, but it may not be used against players. You know, if you choose this, you can't use it against players, so no. At level 60, you've got Void Lord. Lingering Insanity persists for 8 seconds after you enter next Void form. Reaper of Souls. Shadow Word Death is now castable on targets below 35% health, and always generates insanity as though it killed the target. This is fantastic for when you're bursting on someone. You just want to keep as much insanity as possible when you're doing your burst. Gives you more insanity, allows you to do more damage. Fantastic talent. And finally, Void Ray. Each time you Mind Flay or Mind Sear deals damage, you gain 10% increased Mind Flay and Mind Sear damage for 4 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. You can go up to 50% increased Mind Flay damage, which is quite significant, but in Legion, it's even more bursty than WoD, and so Reaper of the Soul is definitely the best one at the moment. At level 75, you've got San Lane, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Increases the damage of your Vampiric Touch by 20% and the healing of your Vampiric Embrace by 20%. Pretty good. Actually, that is pretty good. Auspicious Spirits, your Shadow Apparitions now do 100% increased damage and generate 4 insanity. When it comes to perhaps RBGs, this talent will definitely shine. But right now, for what I'm using, just the basic arenas, it's not been very good. But that's definitely something to look out for. Shadowy Insight. Shadow Word Pain period damage has a 10% chance to reset the remaining cooldown on Mind Blast and cause your next Mind Blast to be instant. I'm having quite a lot of luck with this, proccing quite often. I mean, in Battlegrounds, I'm obviously doing Shadow Word Pain to 3 to 4 targets, and so this is quite active. When I'm getting tunneled, it's always nice to have that chance to get some instant damage out, less having to fake them. So I'm really enjoying Shadowy Insight. At level 90, you've got Power Infusion. Infuses you with the power for 20 seconds, increasing haste by 25% and increasing insanity generation by 25%. 2-minute cooldown. Not bad. Shadow Crash. Hurl a bolt of slow moving shadow energy at the destination, dealing 90,000 damage to all targets within 8 yards. It's quite a hard hitting ability, actually, 90,000. But, it's an AoE spell. You're never going to use that. And finally, Mindbender. Summons a Mindbender to attack the target for 20 seconds. 1-minute cooldown. So it takes that 3-minute cooldown of Shadow Fiend and puts it to a 1-minute cooldown of Mindbender. It does good damage. I'm really enjoying using this for when I need to heal. So when I pop this and then also pop my Power Word Shield with my talent, so it heals me whilst I've got Power Word Shield on me. Very good. Remember, this is for Battleground specifically. Some of these talents will be probably really good in PvE, but this is just a PvP perspective. At level 100, Legacy of the Void. Void form may now be active anytime your insanity level is 70 or higher. Mind Spike. Assail the target with shadowy spikes, dealing 10,000 Shadow Frost damage and leaving a spike embedded in their mind. Up to 10 spikes may be embedded this way. Mind Blast will detonate these spikes, each dealing 200% of their original damage to the main target and 100% to nearby all targets. I haven't tried this. It's just, again, making you have so many hard casts. So I just don't see this at the moment being viable. I think Mind Flay is just too good at the moment. Also with the Snare of Mind Flay, I'm not seeing a Surrender of Madness. I wish this could be viable in PvP. I can't wait to try this in PvE. But yes, obviously all your insanity generating abilities generate 200% more insanity, and you can cast while moving. That's amazing. Until you exit Void form, then you die horribly. 10-minute cooldown. I guess if you were going for broke, this could possibly make its play, but obviously you will die the moment you run out of Void form and insanity, so it just doesn't have a place in PvP. So at the moment, Legacy of the Void. Void form may be active anytime your insanity level is 70 or higher. Just gives me more chances to get in a Void form and just do burst damage depending on what my teammates are doing. So if we pop over to the Honor talents, I'll go through these really quick. First row, I've gone for the Gladiator's Medallion. I like the ability to control when I break CC, whereas the other ones don't give you that. They give you like There might be options where they're good, but Gladiator's Medallion right now is the best. Again, as a ranged, I've gone for Train of Thought, damage increased by 15%, being attacked will cancel this effect for 8 seconds. I think Mind Quickness is probably better, having the increased haste by 6%, but I've just enjoyed in Battlegrounds being able to abuse, getting the first couple of attacks in and doing 15% more damage. Next tier talents, you've got Void Shield. After casting Power Word Shield on yourself, all damage you deal heals you for 50% of the damage dealt for 5 seconds. This is perfect, so obviously putting that Void Shield on you. Now for the 5 seconds I can do like say 500k damage and I will get healed for 250k. Really good. Pure Shadow, Dispersion reduces damage taken by an additional 35% and causes Void Form to not drain Insanity for an additional 6 seconds after Dispersion ends. Fleeting Embrace. Vampiric Embrace now affects up to 3 allies and its cooldown is reduced by 75%. That's going to be really good for freeze. I can totally see that because obviously in freeze you've got 3 people on your team and it's going to buff the spell that's currently highlighted to you in the bottom right. So that could definitely be a good choice for when you're doing freeze, but I'm enjoying Void Shield for the personal survivability I'm getting in Battlegrounds, especially with how tanks are just running around. Next set of tier talents, you've got Driven to Madness. Being attacked will grant you 5 Insanity. I've gone for this because it's just perfect for when people are sitting on you to generate your Insanity bar, and it does generate very fast. Void Origins, you gain 5 stacks of Void Form when you enter Void Form. And Edge of Insanity, while at 100 Insanity and not in Void Form, your damage is increased by 20%. This could be quite good, but I'm enjoying right now having an endless supply of Void Form. Mind Trauma, Mind Flay and Mind Seer apply Shadow Word Pain to the target. Going to be amazing for going to be amazing possibly for Battlegrounds and rated Battlegrounds if you want to just like, you're a pressure comp and you're trying to do as much damage as possible. I've gone personally for Shadow Mania. Having Vampiric Touch on 2 or more targets grants you 3 Insanity every 2 seconds, increases the heal of Vampiric Touch by 100%. It's just extra healing, very easy to get it on 2 people, with Battlegrounds having consistently 10, 15 people in them. Psychic Link. Mind Blast now deals 30% of its damage to all targets within 40 yards that are affected by your Shadow Word Pain. I just don't think that's very good. And then on your final tier talents, you've got some really good ones here. I've gone for Psy Fiend. Summons a Psy Fiend with 10 health for 20 seconds beside you to attack the target at range with Psy Flay. What is Psy Flay? Psy Flay deals 4% of the target's total health in shadow damage every 0.9 seconds. Also slows their movement speed by 50% and reduces their healing received by 50%. Awesome ability. It's not the most powerful thing, but putting that down and making the target take 50% less healing and being 50% slower is allowing you to kill them a lot easier. So I'm really enjoying Psy Fiend. You've got Last Word. Your Shadow Word Death also silences the target for 3 seconds. That's pretty damn good. But I haven't really tested that at the moment. I've been enjoying Psy Fiend. And Void Shift. You and the currently target party or raid members swap health percentages. Increase the lower health percentage of the 2 to 25% if below amount. This spell was available at the start of Mr. Pandaria and it was very powerful back then. I like the fact that it's competing with these talents, so it's not just the obvious choice. But right now I'm going for Psy Fiend, but I definitely think Void Shift's going to be up there. Okay, so let's first take a look at the weapon. The Zal Alataf, Blade of the Black Empire. Very cool dagger actually, considering it's a dagger and I'm not really a fan of these, and that's the basic skin, I really like it. The ability you get given is Void Torrent. Raises your dagger into the sky, 1 minute cooldown, channeling a torrent of void energy into the target for 380,000 shadow damage over 4 seconds. Insanity does not drain this channel. Requires Void Form. So if I just show you, you would have already seen it in the quick preview I just did at the start, but basically you just need to get to 100 Insanity, so I just get some dots on this guy while we look at the other abilities. Dispel Magic, same as before. Dispel Magic on the current target, removing 1 beneficial magic effect. Dispersion has been slightly nerfed. It's a 1.5 minute cooldown. Disperse into pure shadow energy taken by 60%, but you are unable to attack or cast spells. Castable while stunned, feared, or silenced. Void Form does not drain Insanity while dispersed. Fade. Fade out, removing all your threat for 10 seconds. Levitate. Levitate a party or raid member for 10 mins. Floating a few feet above the ground. So that's the same as before. Mass Dispel again, the same as before. Dispels all magic in a targeted AoE circle. It's quite big. It's actually really big. I think that's bigger than normal. Yeah, it definitely is. So that's very powerful and very big in size as well. Mind Blast, again, not an instant cast. Hits quite hard. Mind Control. Controls a mind up to one level above yours for 30 seconds. Does not work versus mechanical beings. Shares diminishing returns of other disorientating effects. I haven't seen yet if it does, but this was notoriously known to DC you. And considering how sketchy the beta is, I don't think I'm going to try and risk it. Mind Sear, the same as before. Corrosive shadow energy radiates from the target, dealing 60,000 shadow damage over 4.6 seconds to all enemies within 10 yards of the target. Generates 6 insanity over the duration per target hit. Mind Vision allows the caster to see through the target's eyes for 1 minute. Will not work if the target is in another instance or on another continent. Mind Bender summons a Mind Bender to attack the target for 20 seconds. Right, so same as before. There it is. The octopus. Very cool looking thing. Power Word Shield. Shields an ally for 15 seconds, absorbing 105,000 damage and preventing damage from delaying spellcasting. Very nice. Psychic Scream is Psychic Scream. It's currently on that 30-second cooldown. It is default 1 minute. Psyfiend, you've seen before. Purified Disease. Now I don't know if we had this. Removes all disease effects from a friendly target. Obviously we had Master Spell and we had Dispel Magic. Someone can clarify if we did have Purified Disease earlier on. But this is very cool because if you're, for example, facing Unholy DKs, you're going to be able to purge all the diseases off your teammates. And so I really like that ability. I like that. It's cool. Shackle Undead is the same as before. You know, if they've got a gargoyle or you're facing Unholy DK, you can shackle its pet. Shadow Mend is a new heal given to Shadowpriest. It replaces Flash Heal. It's quite a powerful heal, and then it puts a dot to deal damage back on your target afterwards. So obviously if they swap to your teammate, you want to get a couple of Shadow Mends on him to alleviate the damage to help heal him up, and then after they finish their burst, he starts to take damage from these heals as a dot. But it's a good big heal, so it's definitely worth using, especially on yourself as well. Shadow Word Death, you know, luckily Shadowpriest still get to keep one of their executes. I've got it currently sat in the PvP so I can use it from 35% HP, but by default it's 20%. Generates 10 insanity or 30 if the target dies. Shadow Word Pain. A Word of Darkness that causes 15,000 shadow damage instantly and an additional 120,000 shadow damage over 14 seconds. Silence is still in the game, 45 second, 5 second silence. Very, very good. Vampiric Embrace fills you with the Embrace of Shadow energy for 15 seconds, causing you to heal a nearby ally for 40% of any single target shadow spell damage you deal. Vampiric Touch, a touch of darkness that causes 140,000 shadow damage over 18 seconds and heals the priest for 50% of the damage dealt. If Vampiric Touch is dispelled, the display flees in horror for 3 seconds. So it's great that we've kept the... it's fantastic that we've kept the horror on that. Void Bolt, this is one of the abilities whilst you're in Void form. Sends a pure bolt of pure void energy at the enemy, causing 78,000 shadow damage and refreshing Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch to their original duration. It requires Void form. Raise Void Torrent. Raise your 1 minute cooldown. We've seen this on the weapon, so you already know what it does. And now that I've got enough insanity to go into Void form. So this is Void form. It spawns this orb. Up here you've got it here. So basically Mind Blast, Void form, and then Void Torrent is this. If you see it here, these lined effect does nice damage. Is very, very cool. Your Mastery increases the damage of your Shadow Word Pain, Vampiric Touch and Void Bolt by 36.7%, so Mastery is definitely going to be pretty good. And passive, Shadowy Apparitions. When your Shadow Word Pain damage over time critically strikes, you also create a shadowy version of yourself that floats towards the target and deals 6,500 damage. So there you have it, guys. That's a real basic general overview of how the Shadow Priest is looking in Legion. And let's go on now to the Battleground so we can see it in action. Cheers. Okay guys, so here we have it then. I've got into the Battleground. This was done a while back, fortunately before the bug at the moment, which is plaguing Battlegrounds where you can't respawn. So yeah, here we've got my Shadow Priest on Temple of Kotamugu. Obviously this map's got an objective. I'm going to really in this Battleground be focusing on seeing how the spread pressure of Shadow works and also its nuking abilities. So when I get the opportunity, I'm definitely going to get dots rolling on a few targets and then just proceed to do the single target rotation to just bring someone down. You see, noticing the hunter here, got vampiric embrace on him and his pet just to generate as much insanity as possible. Just trying to push in and just see if I can get my dots rolling on as many people as possible. Obviously seen the Ashbringer, so that's a Retribution Paladin over there, so I don't want to really mess with him. I'm looking for an easier target at the moment. We just nuke this guy down nice and fast, and then we can get back on the sorry, I keep saying Shadowpriest. We can keep getting back on the Ret Paladin just to get the damage roll on him, get the Void Torrent there just to try and solidify that kill nice and fast, because I didn't really want to waste Void Form. I should have probably saved it for the next battle that we have, but really we've already pretty much wiped them. So we're just picking off the last few people, just obviously trying to get the Void Insanity up as quick as possible. Looking for aspects of where I can help, trying to keep my distance so I can keep the damage buff rolling as much as possible, keep that 15% damage buff before getting attacked, which will then turn it to obviously come off. So see here there's a rogue, see that there's also the shaman here, so I'm just going to try and pull into him. I'm getting instantly attacked there by the assassination rogue, so I just dispersed. He's popped a lot of abilities on me there. I'm not really in the mood for just getting absolutely shreked. He's obviously trinketed and ran away, so I'm just going to keep focusing on the people here. Just getting the dots on people, just trying to keep as much damage out as possible, try and keep the insanity rolling for as long as possible. Notice the hunter here, the survival hunter, and I'm probably going to go down here, and I do, yes. So obviously their positioning could have been much better. I kind of let myself be swarmed by a lot of melee. But I'm trying to show you an overview. There's no bullshit going on here. If I die, I'm going to show that I've died. I'm not going to say to you, oh, we're immortal and we can never be killed if we can. So we're just going to spawn up back here. Just a few seconds left to go. Noticing the teammates that are gone. We've also got one of the orbs, so we're definitely still a strong lead here. I think my group's definitely playing the objective, which obviously benefits me, showing you the gameplay of the classes more than the objective of this battleground. So here, getting the dots on everyone. Just, he's getting to low health, got that Shadow Word Death out, got the Void Form really fast, just keeping the dots, refreshing them on him. I want to keep him into stealth, because obviously he's just stealth to the side of me, so kept the dots on him, that combat rogue, that put him back into stealth, got the fear on him straight away, just trying to get that damage rolling on him, activated Void Form, get a Void Torrent on him. I'm looking to Shadow Word Death him, but he has absolutely pieced it off. I'm not going to catch out of him because it's Ellie Shaman, and now this becomes the most painful duel of the century because this guy's a little bitch. I'm just going to try and keep killing him, but he's just this is quite a good duel in a way, because both classes have a definite chance of winning. And he gusts the wind away to then pop some heals. I'm obviously in full HP. He for some reason went to give me the static cling and then broke it, so he got a full hex on me. I luckily got my Siphoned out. I've got dots rolling on him, so he can't really heal up. Obviously with the Siphon reducing his healing by 50%, him now trying to peel away and heal isn't really possible. So he runs away like a little bitch, and then this Demon Hunter tank appears, so I'm like, oh Christ alive. Not another fucking OP powerful spec. So I'm going to use the fact that I can kite quite well with the body and soul talent. So basically whenever I use my power word barrier, I get the 4-second speed buff. So I'm just trying my best to keep the distance from him. I've activated Void Form. I've got my nuke on right now. I don't really think he's got much to counter it. So just trying to keep my HP up, get the damage rolling when I've got the shield. The cowardly shamans came back, obviously, because he's a little bitch. Full health. So now we're just going to have the duel again. I'm at half HP, so I'm significantly at a disadvantage to him, but it doesn't really matter because I'm just going to manage my cooldowns. He does get that static cling on me. Fortunately, once again, I've got the Siphoned up. I'm anticipating to be a Saturn CC, so I've got the dots rolling right now and 2 animations that are cast in Mind Fray. I pull back because now he's trying to get his burst on me. So I've obviously hexed. I'm just coming back, getting a few Shadow Mends on me just to get the nice HP rolling. Get the power word barrier, looking to get my dots back on him, full dots on him. Activate Void Form, and now we're going to get just a lot of damage out. He knows now that he's in a lot of trouble. So I get out the some Mind Flays, move out of that talented lava burst where it activates a little volcano fissure underneath you. So I'm now chasing him, but once again he knows he's outmatched clearly and just starts to run away like a little bitch. So we're just going to trade for trade heals. I'm just going to activate some heals. Finally someone comes to me, so now as opposed to the 2v1 I was facing, it now becomes a 1v2 for him. Trying to kill this totem. I've noticed that they've now significantly buffed the HP of totems. Obviously it used to be the 5 HP, but that obviously had a lot more HP than the 18,000 I hit him for. So just popping over here, trying to help my Shame as much as possible. There's a ret here. He obviously pops his bubble, so I'm going to try and come over and mass dispel that as soon as possible. The Shaman's not dumb, he's ran away because now the paladins can do their full damage in bops and bubbles, so no point trying to kill someone you can't attack while they can do max damage. But obviously dispelled that bubble, didn't allow him to get many heals off, and then we can just nuke him down instantly. I've noticed the next target, the Holy Priest here. I quite like the fact that with the artifact weapons you can definitely know what spec someone's playing. Might sound silly because obviously originally really in each class there was only one viable, so when you saw a priest he was either a shadowy purple figure or a disc. But obviously now with them trying to make it so that you can play all the specs, it's good to know definitely what they are from the weapon that they're holding, so you can adjust your playstyle. So no, I did really enjoy that. He was quite easy to kill, obviously with an enhancer Shadowpriest. They're pretty good in terms of helping each other play. I must admit I could definitely see the comp working in arena. 100%. So we just nuke that guy down, looking for the next target here. We've got the 4 orbs, we're in a really strong position, so I'm just trying to patrol around the outside of where other people are with the orbs and just try and protect them, kill people before they get to them because they're going to be taking such an increased damage. Let's find once again the Rep Paladin here, so I'm just trying to get some dots rolling onto him and get some damage. He pieces the scene, which is fair enough to be honest. But I'm noticing that they're kind of like lapping around in this corner, so I'm going to stay here. Here's the other Rep Paladin, just doing an attack. He did lay on hands for some reason. I'm not quite sure why people do that. If you're going to be completely killed, don't waste your cooldowns. There's no point activating that ice block if there's 5 people on you and no one's around, or activating that lay on hands, because you can use it when you're 1v2 or 1v1 in someone, not when you're definitely going to die. But rant over. Just looking over here, we've still got 3 of the orbs. We're still definitely in a big position. We're nearly now leading by 1,000 points. And there's the rogue there. He's obviously going to try and get stealth, so I instantly fear him to stop the stealth opener if he's going to do it. Get the dots rolling, so to stop him from going into stealth and get him straight back out. We'll just get the full damage on him. I've got the Void Torrent rolling with the Siphene. I'm just trying to nuke him as quick as possible and we knock him out. Take him out of the fight. So again, just simply patrolling, trying to look for any opportunities to assist any teammates around the outside. Hopefully you're getting a nice overview of how this spec plays. I do think it's quite fun in BGs. I don't think it's definitely as powerful as it was because of all the instant damage with Cascade, Mind Blast and all of that in WoD BGs. But I do like it. I feel like it's a lot more kind of complex in terms of the rotation. You've got more options to what you can do in given situations, and it can definitely hold its own in a 1v1, which is, for a Shadow Priest is a breath of fresh air because they haven't been able to do that for a very long time. I want to say almost BC was when they were a single target force, but or 1v1 dueling force. But regardless, back on this Demon Hunter again. He's not very good, I'm going to be honest. He's probably quite new to the class, which is fair enough. And we just nuke him down nice and fast. So now I've got the 1v1 versus the Rep Paladin. And he's probably coming back to kick my ass. But the Battleground end guys, so they're obviously 5 kills to 1 death, good damage in the group. You've got to bear in mind that some people in our Battleground literally stood in the middle to protect the orbs and win the points. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Shadow. I hope that gave you just a quick overview of what it's like. As I've mentioned, I've put the a great Shadow Priest in the more info Aberney's channel. Definitely check him out if you want to play this class going to Legion, because he'll be able to give you great tips. And as always guys, please support the channel by subscribing, liking and commenting. Have a great Sunday afternoon and I'll see you later. Peace.